Hi, I'm Jae Gruenke, founder of The Balanced Runner, and I've been helping runners and triathletes improve their form and performance since 2003. And I was interested to take a look at Kebede's form, Sutume Kebede, who just won the Houston Half Marathon 2024. And so I thought that I might just hit record and record it and share with you the things that I'm seeing as I'm seeing them. So here we go. All right, so let's take a look at Sutume Kebede and see what there is to see in her form. I've just got the finish line video here. So here she comes alongside a male runner, and you can see her shoulders are really wide, and it looks like she actually is lifting them in order to swing her arms, lifting them off her rib cage, which tells me that she's probably not turning her rib cage all that much, which points to she's probably not turning her pelvis all that much. And as we look from the side, sure enough, there's a tipping action, but there's not much rotation. So she's not really using a lot of rotation to run, period. She is much more using the frontal plane, but if you look at that, let's see, that dark line right here in her at the bottom of her race number, you can see that it tips like a seesaw, but it doesn't turn, and it doesn't actually change location side to side. It's almost like there's a pivot point right in the middle of it, and it just tips. And so she's using movement in the frontal plane, that is, side to side weight shift movement. That's one of the two components of the spiraling action that I call the core action. But she is not actually shifting her weight side to side. And that's pretty common for a person who has their legs organized the way that she does. It's hard to actually move side to side with your legs organized like that. Sorry. Let's see. So your pelvis can tip a little bit, but like her head doesn't shift at all side to side, which it should. And if you want to see a gorgeous example of that, Kenenisa Bekele always was. So what I'm seeing here is a spine that's actually pretty held, pretty rigid, and then a lot of power being used to run. It's not a very efficient form, though. Well, if we go ahead to where we see her pretty much straight from the side, I'm really grateful for that view. Let's see, here we go again. That's a very nice lean and appropriate for her speed and all. And she is not, she's got an appropriate anterior pelvic tilt, and then she's not pulling her upper body backwards, excessively lifting her chest. And that would cause an arch in the lumbar spine and mean that the force from the feet is not really pushing the head forward efficiently. It's kind of pushing the belly forward or the chest forward, but the head is getting pushed back, and then you waste a lot of energy that way. So this seems to be working pretty well for her, though if you go back a little bit, you can, have to go back to where we can actually see her. You can kind of see her sternocleidomastoid, her neck muscles stand out a bit, and so that does tells that she's lifting her chest a little bit. Yeah, there you can see them. And her chin going down, which you normally see with the sternocleidomastoid being recruited like that. The head back just a little bit. The other thing that's really interesting is, even though she's got that pretty, coherent forward trunk inclination, if we use a more accurate term than forward lean, because the trunk is always tilted forward, but the legs do all kinds of different things. So is like I've already said, I don't see, there's not much pelvis rotation. There's a bit of pelvis tipping, but there's no actual lateral movement like you'd hope to see, getting the runner really over one foot and then over the other foot. And her head doesn't get over one foot and the other foot, which would be more efficient. And so, yeah, we're getting this really kind of held impression, this kind of fixed impression. Tense would be another word in her torso. And then, so then she's again kind of separating her arms from her torso and working them pretty hard. And then she's working her legs pretty hard, harder than she needs to, except she's probably got super shoes on that are probably helping with all of that. But also, again, if you look at this dark line just at the bottom of her race number, that's a very lucky little piece of gear here. You'll see that, right, there's the tip. There's not much rotation, but there's also, each time she comes to her forefoot, just before toeing off into the air, there's a little bit of a jerk forward, as though her pelvis is being yanked slightly more into an anterior tilt just before toe off each time. And so that tells me that she is maxing out her psoas. Let's go back and just take a little look at that. It's actually right below that line. There's like her gluteus maximus really stands out at that moment. Yeah, like I feel like I can see it right here, right now, and it's a little more visible from a distance. There's just a little jerk at the end of toe off each time. And so that again is like her iliopsoas, which is a deep and most important hip flexor, and running out of play. Why is it running out of play? Well, the body isn't a thing. It's short. I mean, it might be, but mostly muscles are short because of the decisions we're making, not consciously, about how to organize ourselves and when is the right time and what amount to lengthen. And so she is definitely coming to the end of the play that she's giving herself in her psoas at toe off with each leg. So a little jerk each time. Actually, when I do that, I tip my head back, but it actually works like that. I'm exaggerating. That is, again, it's costly and it's stressful. If an athlete is not coming right up against the end of the play in their iliopsoas at that moment, then what you see is a smoother lengthening of each side, and you'll see the head actually shift side to side. And this is a chicken and egg thing. When you learn how to do that, then you don't get that jerk in the lower back. And a lot of runners, when they feel that jerk in the lower back, they respond not by figuring out how to do that spiraling action of lengthening on each side, but instead by really gripping their abs to try and fight this tipping of the pelvis forward. And then you have started down the long, dark road into overwork and losing your naturalness and your speed. So anyway, let's just look one more time, see if there's anything else to see or to talk about here. And your big arm movement is also helping her get from leg to leg, but I'll be honest, I don't see her running that way for the next decade or so. I think something will need to change to stay healthy and keep performing well. But she sure did great in this race, all-comers course record, and congratulations to her. And we'll just finish here. Thanks so much for watching. Hope that was useful to you.